Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Lakeburg Legacies. When we left off in the previous episode, we welcomed in the ugliest woman and the most beautiful man in Lakeburg. And this is not my opinion. This is according to Lakeburg's beauty standards. Because Leonette, the new baker in town, and Alfred, the new miner in town, they have certain genetic traits which, tell us something very telling about them. So Leonette, unfortunately, has the ugly trait. Now, that's very subjective, of course, yes, we realize, but this is according to Lakeburg's beauty standards, and she is the first ugly woman that we have ever had in Lakeburg. We have, a long time ago, had an ugly man. He was a farmer by the name of Aberolf, if you guys remember. But yeah, and he didn't pass, I think he had, one child? He didn't manage to pass his genes onto his child, thank goodness. But yeah, she's come in and her ugly genes are going to be contending with the beautiful genes that her husband has. And that's not the only interesting thing, because her husband is a miner who works with the other beautiful person in town. So the most beautiful woman in town and the most beautiful man in town are colleagues. They work together in the same mine. Calanth has a very average sort of, husband. She's married to Drogo, the Chancellor, who is of noble kind of lineage, you could say. And they've adopted Astrid, who is of an artisan lineage. Very interesting, isn't it? How that whole family, they cover like all the entire spectrum of classes that we have. But yeah, things are interesting with Leonette and Alfred. This is basically our golden head Beauty and the Beast, except Alfred is the beauty and Leonette is the beast. Feels a bit mean saying that, but it is what it is. And we have Walter, who is currently single and homeless. We also have, I think, a few of our youngsters who are 17, going to be aging up pretty soon. But okay, let's get things going and see what happens in town. We've managed to get a population up to 30, but 30 ain't doing much for us. We found out in the last episode that apparently the meat, which we have 436 of, apparently is not a staple, or it's not necessarily something that every single villager needs. I mean, it's optional for a lot of people, but what they really need is vegetables. They need vegetables. So without farmers, our entire society is going to collapse, basically. And we just have to prepare for that eventuality. With a smile. Okay. So, oh geez, what's happening? I wanted to stop the time. I guess I didn't pause. I thought I paused and I was taking a breath, but apparently not. Okay, Naya, who has been out on the streets at 10 years old, Naya Brielle, is going to be adopted by Brian and Mabel, which is actually quite nice. That's actually quite sweet. So let's go ahead and do that. She's going to have a family. She's going to join the Kolb family until, she's old enough to revive the Brielle bloodline. But okay, there we go. It's Brian, Mabel, and Naya. And Mabel, hold on a second. Oh my goodness, time was just going. Time was going like nothing. But, where is she? Where is she? Hold on a second. Okay, Mabel. Mabel, she has a decent life ahead of her, but she's got time. So this is kind of, for now, it is stable for Naya. It is stable for Naya. Okay, let's see what else has been going on. Leonette has met Mabel. Okay, Leonette and Mabel have met each other, and they do not like each other. You know what? Mabel is really mean, and Leonette is ugly. So I can kind of see, is she actually mean? Okay, she's not actually mean. She's shy, lazy, and greedy. And, she's got clubfoot. But I reckon Mabel met Leonette, and then they started, maybe Leonette unknowingly kind of just mentioned, like, oh, you have a clubfoot, and you have two left feet, basically. And maybe her name is making conversation confusing. But Mabel, perhaps Mabel, guys, got offended at that, and then she said, well, I have a clubfoot, but you have an ugly face. And things did not go in the direction that we would have hoped. Yeah, and they don't like each other. Made a bad impression. And then Cecilia and Dora have become friends. Okay, I think Cecilia... Oh, that's because Cecilia, I think, is aged up. Has she? Yes, she has. Okay, Dora is one of our farmers, and she was Cecilia's mentor. So they've become friends. It's kind of nice to see. And then, what else do we have? Godric and Drogo have met. Okay, one of the seamsters and Drogo, our chancellor, do not like each other. They met at the town square. They do not like each other. Okay, and now, guys, we have some ladies who have aged up. We have, you know, potential careers we need to put them in. We have potential matches to make. So, okay, we have Althea, who's now 18 years old, Althea Bonnet. She's Marie's granddaughter. Her mother has passed on, Eloise, but her grandmother's still alive. And let's take a look. A carpenter or a healer? Okay, a carpenter or a healer. A carpenter or... Wait, do we not have any other potential healers? Just out of curiosity. Guys. Hold on. Mabel does not want to work anywhere, but that's besides the point. Wolfgang wants to be a chancellor or a blacksmith? Okay. It took him many years, guys, but at 22 years old, something has changed in Wolfgang, and he has decided that, you know, his aspirations are different. Okay, well, we have both our chancellors, so I guess he's gonna be a blacksmith. Heck yeah, Wolfgang stepping up. Okay, so Wolfgang is gonna be a blacksmith. I am so proud of him. I am so happy that he has stepped up in this very unexpected way. Astrid wants to be a farmer still, along with many other things, but honey, heck yeah. Now that Dora does not have an apprentice, because apprentice aged up, she can take on Astrid as her apprentice, and she can help create even more farmers for us. Brilliant. Okay, Althea wants to be a carpenter or a healer. We freaked out about this together. We don't have a slot for a carpenter, but we have a hospital, so Althea is going to be the first ever healer we have ever had. Oh my goodness, this kind of has me excited. Look at her, she looks so cute. Okay, you know what, this was very unexpected, Althea, but I love it. It also kind of makes a little bit of sense because her grandmother has such a long life and is living such a long, healthy life, and I could see how seeing her grandmother maybe get to an age that is very unexpected for a lot of people. She's 75 now. Maybe that's inspiring Althea to actually help lengthen other people's lives and make sure other people live in a really healthy way, in a really kind of fulfilling way. But, you know, she's mean. She is social, though, and she's a bit of a glutton, and she's nimble. So she can be very scathing, especially when she sees people not care about themselves. I like that. Okay, and then we have Cecilia. Cecilia wants to be a farmer. I don't know why I'm surprised. I'm really proud of her. She apprenticed as a farmer, so it makes a lot of sense. Cecilia, she's my favorite villager we've ever had because I think she looks drop dead gorgeous. I really liked Emelina, to be honest. I mean, call me superficial. I'm a superficial person. How many of us are not, guys? How many of us are not superficial? But Emelina, our very first ever lady of the evening, I thought she was so pretty. She looked like a doll. And Cecilia is gorgeous. I love her. But Emelina wasn't born in Lakeburg. Cecilia was born here. We've seen her since she was a baby. And I absolutely love her. So Cecilia Taylor, not only is she stunning, but she is going to save our lives by helping us to feed. She's going to get us those vegetables that we so desperately need and that wheat. And she's going to look gorgeous while doing it. So she's nimble, but she's boring, ill-mannered, and lazy. Okay, that's okay, Cecilia. I forgive you. We forgive you. Let's head over to the farm. Oh, this makes me so happy. And because she's friends with her mentor, Dora, they are having a really good ambience over here. It would be very nice if Astrid, you know, once Astrid was older, she could also join Dora and Cecilia at the farm. But honestly, I am so glad that we got Dora when we did, because she's single-handedly reviving the farming industry, like all on her own. This woman is single-handedly reviving our farming industry. Okay, so that is wonderful. That is wonderful. And we need to establish the houses, don't we? Yes, we do. So actually, Althea and Cecilia are gonna live in the same neighborhood alongside the Morrison family. So we'll get Althea to move in here. So she's gonna establish the Bonnet household. And then next to her, we'll get Cecilia to move in. So she's gonna establish the Taylor household. So Althea, who are your parents? Your parents were Margaret and Nathan. Okay, so she's reviving, actually, the Taylor family after a long, long time. Because we haven't seen the Taylor family since her mother died. But the Bonnet family has, been alive and living quite well. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Things are going... You know what? I feel like Althea and Cecilia are almost like our Lucky Charms. Because it feels like as soon as they aged up, they suddenly inspired Wolfgang to become a blacksmith, and they stepped up, becoming very, very important members of our society. I'm just very happy. Very happy. Okay, well, we are going to have some matchmaking, and Althea is going to maybe ask Walter out on a date. We'll see how that goes. She is obviously our 18-year-old healer, and he is our 32-year-old gatherer. I don't think... Does Walter have a family? I don't think he has a family. I don't think so. Well, wait, hold on. Hold on. Dora, Sapphire. Yeah, no, wait, he does. He's with Naya. But Althea doesn't have any children, so he could bring Naya with him. Okay, so whoever he decides to end up with or pursue won't affect us badly. So Althea is going to try her luck with Walter. So she's going to brave up, ask him on a date, and we'll see how it goes. They have bad affinity, because, Althea's mean. Let's see. Yeah, it's a 27% affinity. They don't really get along with each other. They disagree on public executions in the countryside. And it seems as though, other than being shy, Walter has a really good personality. He's got smart genes, and Althea is the complete opposite. It's okay. We'll see how this goes. Okay, we're gonna go on a date. We're gonna start off at the inn. We could say that the display of food at the banquet was disgusting, or ask Walter for his opinion on divination. We'll go with the divination. Walter's fortune teller had recently warned him to watch for down-to-earth people. And then we're going to go for a boat ride at the lake. We could say it's time to duel or talk about the countryside. We'll bring up the countryside. Unfortunately, Walter is not keen about navigating muddy paths or the smell of manure from the fields. And finally, we're at the hill by moonlight. We could say flowers are pointless, or what if we abolish the death penalty? We'll go with the death penalty. Okay, public executions are a barbaric and gore event. Walter agrees with Althea wholeheartedly. So they are going to be in a loveless marriage, but it is marriage nonetheless. And at least Naya is not going to be out on the streets anymore. People are already struggling with food, and the streets are dangerous. Okay, so these two are going to be together. Wonderful. In this district, right? Yes. Where did Naya go? Wait, is Naya living with another family? Wasn't Naya recently adopted? I'm sorry, guys. I'm a bit all over the place. Like I said, I've mentioned this before, but the babies born in Lakeburg, it's like hot potato. The babies just they often don't end up staying with their blood parents. They get passed on to step-parents like nothing. Okay, yeah, Naya got adopted. That's right. Naya got adopted by Mabel and Brian. Okay, so Walter and Althea could have a family if they wanted, like a child of their own. They have a 6% chance. Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, well that is that, guys. Cecilia is single for now, but we'll leave it be for a little bit. See who ends up with her. For now, she's gonna be just focused on farming and helping us get that food we so desperately need. Okay, let's keep going. Soften the mood. Brian, our 41-year-old fisherman, and Mirabelle, our 19-year-old seamstress. Okay. Let's see. For a long while now, Brian and Mirabelle have been trying to stir the talent of other musicians in Lakeburg. The time has come to help them, but which way is the best? Holy music is an option. It would kind of minus the entertainment by 10, but it would increase faith and prestige, but both of them would gain the boring trait. If we partied on, it would increase entertainment, it would lower protection, all the villagers would get an increase in morale, would lose a bit of money, but they would both get the energetic trait. I think we're gonna party on. Lakeburg's brass band quickly became very popular. Its tremendous energy pushed the whole village towards an appetite for all-night partying. The streets were ransacked as a result, but the people were happy and the complaints were surprisingly minimal. More and more. Okay, I was a little bit worried for a second because I was like, what's going on between the two of them? But it was platonic, guys. They were just getting together to help out with, you know, the music. So nothing for us to worry about. Okay, nothing else crazy has been happening in town. Nothing else crazy. But Marie and Althea are stressed. Oh, so grandmother and granddaughter. I love that they're spending time together though. You know, Marie is probably really proud of her daughter working at the hospital. Her granddaughter, she's the first ever healer we've had. Obviously, this is a big deal for the Bonnet family because they've been a family of bakers, essentially. So that's kind of amazing. But I imagine they're still kind of stressed. Maybe Althea notices that people are being malnourished because they're not getting their vegetables. They're not getting enough food and all of that. And Marie, you know, still doesn't have really any work at the bakery. They haven't for many years now because we haven't been producing enough wheat for that. The bread stocks are like running low. All the food is pretty much running low. So I can see why they would be stressed about maybe the years to come. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, we just had a baby born and Brian just died of hunger. Our fisherman just died, guys. Our fisherman just died. Okay, well, we just had a little baby born. Where is this baby? Where are you? Oh, in the Frost family with Mirabelle and Randall. Roybin. Hold on, they just had a little baby boy with the resilient traits and with clubfoot. Let's see. You are going to be Conrad Frost? You can be Conrad. So this is going to be little Conrad Frost. So he has his mother's hair and then his father's skin and eyes. Okay, he's a strong little boy. He's a strong little boy. A future builder! We have a future builder in this one. Okay, and in terms of his preferences, he likes the countryside, feasting and meditation. He does not like kittens, divination, and cuddles. He has a good relationship with his mother at 66%, and he has an excellent relationship with his father at 78%. Okay, that's pretty decent. I mean, we need the population, so I'm glad that they had a little baby boy. And then we obviously had a bit of a death. Okay, now Mabel is single, and so is Cecilia. We still don't have any men for them to mingle with right now. Let's keep going, let's keep going. Oh, and Meliora just died! Our 37-year-old lumberjack just died. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on, hold on. Cataline and Alfred just met each other. Cataline and Alfred. Oh. Okay, so the two miners get along with each other, which is good because that's gonna make the ambience of their workplace, the mines, a lot better. It's already good, so they like working with, what is wrong with me? They like working with each other, that's what I was trying to say. They like working with each other, and it seems as though they approve of the fact that, you know what, the mines is the best place to work because we are the most beautiful people in Lakeburg. Like, that's pretty interesting. And the Atkins, I think Godric was married to Meliora. Was he? I think he was. Yes, he was. Okay, that means he just lost his house. Okay. Yep, he just lost his house. So did his son. How old is his son, by the way? His son is 16 years old. Okay. Well, we have two ladies. We have two ladies that you could end up with. Now, Mabel, I think, is going to... Wait, Mabel, are you tied to him in any way? No, she's not. Okay, Mabel is gonna try and pursue Godric. But if things work out with her, Godric's son is going to become an orphan. But let's see, she's 23, he's a 42-year-old seamster. Let's see how this goes. Okay, Godric, they have awful affinity for now. It's at 0%. But they agree on silver and gold, and they disagree on painting. I think she has a relatively bad personality, and he kind of does too. But let's see. Okay, they're gonna start off at the hill by moonlight. We could talk about barbarians, dueling. We could make fun of dueling, or complain about the food at the banquet. We'll complain about the food. Thanks to constant reminders that the poor barely have enough to eat, Godric tends to avoid stuffing themselves like a pig. Then we're going for a boat ride. We could get excited about libraries, or say flowers are pointless. We'll insult the flowers. Concerned about allergies, Godric will never let flowers enter his house. And it seems as though these two are infatuated with each other and getting married. So I think they're quite excited about this. Godric is obviously not thinking about his kid. And you know what? He's your actual, this is your biological child that you are leaving. Well, I suppose for a lot of folk, when it comes down to comfort and it comes down to their own, selfish desires, it doesn't matter too much. And with Han, I mean, he's ascetic and hardworking. I feel like Han would, because he has an average relationship with his father, so I don't know. I feel like he would take it to heart the fact that his father is kind of abandoning him and leaving him, compared to the whole situation with Wolfgang. I feel like Wolfgang let his dad go happily. But with Han, I don't think he ever imagined that his father would kind of leave him. He thought that if they stick together, I mean, he would eat less, but they would kind of work hard together to keep each other going. But suddenly Godric kind of found himself a new wife, probably without telling Han, and Han's kind of on his own. And he probably said, it's okay, you only have 2 years left anyways until you're old enough to get married yourself, so it's not like you have to be in the streets for too long. Ay. Okay, well, Han has just become an orphan. I wonder if a family is going to adopt him, even if it's for a couple of years. That would actually be quite nice. Okay, well guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.